Kingsley thought his long day was finally over, but Perception has one last secret to reveal. What could it be? Come along, boys and girls, and let's discover it together.
Journey to the Eternal Kingdom. A Young Christian's Pilgrimage. Chapter 12. Will the brave soldier win the fight against self? After leaving the gaming room, Kingsley and Perception walked for a while outside. The sun was setting as they sat on the ground to watch it go down. Kingsley had not realized how much time had passed. Perception told him he had one final thing to show him before he set out on his journey again. Understanding that Kingsley had seen many discouraging things that day, Perception wanted to give him a reason to keep on fighting the good fight. He explained to Kingsley,
"Your journey, as well as that of all pilgrims, is about learning how to please the king, so that one day you can stand in his presence and not be consumed."
Handing Kingsley a pair of binoculars, Perception pointed to a palace far in the distance. However, once Kingsley raised them to his eyes, everything became as clear as if the palace were right in front of him.
"What is this place?"
He asked Perception.
It is one of the good king's places of refuge,
Perception replied,
where pilgrims can go to find peace, help, and strength to continue their journey.
"Who are the mean soldiers standing in front of the door as if they are guarding it?
Kingsley asked.
And why are all those people standing outside, unable to enter, but wishing they could by the looks on their faces? Why does the king not drive them away?"
Those who love the king with all their hearts are not afraid of the soldiers. Hold on a moment and you will see what I mean,
said Perception. As they both sat watching through their binoculars, Perception continued to explain.
When we accept Jesus as our Savior and begin our journey, you will find, Kingsley, that your biggest enemy is not the Prince of Babylon, but your own selfish desires that sometimes overcome you. Oh, here, take a look. One brave soldier has taken up her sword. She will make an effort to enter into the palace. Let's see what will happen.
A woman had stepped out of the crowd. She put on her suit of armor and approached a man who sat in front of the palace gate with a huge book. Turning the pages, he came across her name, and striking out all the negatives beside it, he handed her a sword. Then something amazing happened. As the woman stepped forward, all the soldiers' appearances began to change into the image of the woman soldier. Except for her bright red garment, Kingsley would not have recognized her, for they all looked the same. Kingsley gasped in amazement, excitement, and fear. Without taking his eyes off the images in the binoculars, he said to Perception,
"Oh my, they all look like her."
Yes, Kingsley.
Perception replied.
Our biggest enemy is ourselves, the part of us we must fight every day. Watch carefully.
Kingsley didn't need to be told twice. His eyes were riveted to the scene unfolding before him. The soldier in bright red stepped forward and began swinging her sword. Suddenly, one of the soldiers with a mean face, now looking just like the woman, thrust her sword, and the fighting began. The Scarlet Soldier, as we'll call her, was putting up a good fight, but the soldiers seemed to anticipate her every move. Still, she gave as good as she got. It was an unfair fight, 3 against 1, and their goal was to keep her from entering the palace. At last, the Scarlet Soldier, now with blood dripping down her arms and legs, stepped back out of range of the others. Lifting her eyes to the heavens, she seemed to mutter a prayer. Then she stepped back into the fight with renewed energy. This time she did not fight to wound, but to kill. Every time she inflicted a deadly blow to one of the soldiers, they returned to their original appearance and stopped fighting her. Soon she faced only one opponent. Now it was a battle of strength, blow for blow, toe to toe. Finally, with a surge of power that could only come from above, and as her enemy began to weaken, she pressed forward and made a final thrust. The soldier fell, but quickly stood again, now no longer looking like the Scarlet Soldier, but as she had looked before the battle began. As the enemy fell, the Scarlet Soldier leapt over her and ran into the palace, afraid she might still be challenged. But no one made any attempt to stop her. On the flat roof of the palace, people began to sing songs of praise to the Good Shepherd. Kingsley lowered his binoculars, realizing he was breathing heavily, as if he himself had been in the fight.
That was scary.
He said,
For a moment, I thought the Scarlet Soldier was going to die, but she got her strength back after she lifted her eyes to heaven and prayed.
Perception nodded in agreement.
I'm glad you saw that. I hope you understand that most of this journey will be about putting off the old man, or in your case, the old boy. Not that you are old,
He smiled.
but it means doing away with the things that once seemed acceptable to you, and now learning the ways of the good king. Come,
Perception continued.
it's quite dark now. Let us go inside. I must feed you, and then find you a place to sleep until tomorrow. Then you can begin your journey once more. There is much to think about from what you saw today, Kingsley, but your takeaway should be that God never leaves our side.
Then he quoted softly,
James 1:5. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. Did you see what happened when the Scarlet Soldier asked the good king for help?
Kingsley was still breathing hard, as if he were the one who had just finished fighting, so he only nodded his head. Standing up and offering Kingsley his hand, Perception nodded. Together they walked toward the house, Perception holding Kingsley by the hand, for it was now quite dark and Kingsley was unfamiliar with the path.